Hello, everybody. Welcome to the United from Man City 3, Manchester United nil, and like in the title, embarrassed. Embarrassed. What can I say from this match? Now, obviously, like I've said some stuff in the watch along where Man City got lucky only because of mistakes. I'm gonna stick to it, but look, I know it's easy to say. Every goal we conceded so far in this Premier League season has been mistakes. But I just keep thinking to myself, why do we make so many mistakes? I thought, during, I think, what was it, Ten Hag's second season? It was the defense because of the injury problems. Now you look at Amorim's first season, it was the attack because we couldn't score. And now you look at this season, it's pretty much everything. We can't score, we can't defend, you know, goalkeeping shit, and it's a pure shot in the midfield. And it's ironic because the two positions we needed to improve it was goalkeeper and midfield. And once again, midfield and once again goalkeeper. Obviously, Lemens didn't play. Look, Lemens is a work in progress. I'm not gonna start wondering. Oh, we need to throw Lemens in. But I'm just gonna say something right here. But in Ten Hag's second season, we made so many mistakes. It was almost to the point that if we did it against a bigger team, we'd get punished. Now, we used to do it against the lesser teams and got away with it. It's almost like this season, we make these mistakes so easy for even fucking Grimsby Town or even Fulham or even Burnley to even score goals against us. And it's like, we used to get away with it. Unless it was a tough team like City, Liverpool. But it's even easy for lesser teams. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck the formation, fuck the manager and everything else. These players. I know I can't keep saying they're average players. I'm not gonna say that. But you got Luke Shaw at the club, and look, he was my worst rated player. What a fucking fault. Look, I'm gonna get player ratings anyway, but Luke Shaw, he's been at the club for what, a decade? And people keep telling me, oh, when he's fit, he's world class. He's been fit for a few games. Where's this bollocks? You know what? This whole thing about Luke Shaw when he's fit, he's amazing. It's a myth. It's not true. It's just a myth. Because that Luke Shaw performance took me back to during COVID times, or maybe when he was a skinhead. It was that season when we finished sixth on the Oli and Ranić. So it's almost like that Luke Shaw we're getting. It's like this brother has been at this club for a decade, and it's like we're talking as if he's gonna make out like Ryan Giggs or Gary Neville or fucking Paul Scholes. God knows when Roy Keane joined. He stayed for 10 years, I think. When did he start? If he started in 1995, it's technically 10 years. So, you're telling me it might even happen as well. Luke Shaw surpassing Roy Keane in fucking appearances. Maybe not because of what? So many injuries. So, but him staying at the club and having 300 appearances. I don't know how many appearances he has, but it's probably I think I don't even think it's I don't think it's even 300. I think it's way below. So I know people are gonna say that Amorim should be gone. That's just so easy. It's just so easy. I don't think it will happen unless it gets to the point where he could be sacked by October or even Christmas. I wouldn't be surprised. But when people keep moaning saying get this manager out, it's like every Man United fan moaning about getting the Glazers out when they're never gonna go. You saying Amorim should go, I don't think he'll even get sacked still. I don't think he'll even get sacked. No matter how many times you will moan and say get rid of the manager, 3-4-2-1 doesn't work, he still won't get sacked. Look, if this does continue, of course he's gonna he's gonna get the sack. Probably Probably till Christmas. Sorry, I'm just trying to check it. Where the fuck is he? Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, 291 appearances. He's played here for 10 years. He's played here for 10 years. He's played here for 10 years and he's got less than 300 appearances. It's a joke. It's a joke. So it's just unreal. But yeah. Hang on a minute. As I was saying, 300 appearances in fucking what 10 years. That's so shit. I mean, it's like I just can't believe it. Look, I'm not gonna talk about Luke Shaw. This ain't I'm not here to talk about him. He's been at the club for 10 years. People have been moaning, complaining. What I'm really pissed out about is these people saying get rid of him. 3-4-2-1 doesn't work. Not only that, people want 4-3-3 back, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, did Ten Hag win us the league? Oh my god, Ollie, he made us win twice. People are talking as if we won fucking Premier Leagues or trophies, unless it's Ten Hag. Well, you're talking as if we did so well under 4-3-3. I don't understand. So this whole bullshit about let's go to 4-3-3, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. You know, we had a manager who plays three at the back, and decides to he plays 3-4-2-1, which obviously we haven't played for the first time in Premier League, let's just say. And I said this so many times. I said this. Ineos should not have signed him during mid-season. If you're gonna bring a manager who has a complete different formation, which Man United have never played in their lives, he needs to come in the summer, get players he wants. He can assess Man United during his time at Sporting, and he will kick off from there. But no, we decided to sign him and embarrass him more. Now, obviously, the positive thing I can take about Amorim coming in is that the problems like Rashford, like Garnacho, like Anthony, all these players, they're gone now, because people have been telling me that he doesn't have a manager bounce. I'm glad he even have a manager bounce, because if he was so great, we'd be saying, oh, Man United's back, oh, we're cooking this, cooking that, typical Man United fans, and these problems will come later. So I'm glad these problems came already, because they were going to come out later. So, I mean, look, Rashford's gone for now, Garnacho's gone, Anthony's gone, they're gone, okay? Now, what's the problem? We buy 2 10s. We buy Mbeumo, we buy Cunha. I was happy with Cunha. But as soon as we went for Mbeumo, I went like, you know what? If we don't sell Bruno and we get Mbeumo, I know what Amorim's going to do. And I've said this so many times. Amorim picking Bruno, he's trying to sack himself. He's trying to sack himself by playing Bruno, who isn't a fucking 8. He's not an 8. And it's so ironic, because the two players that we needed to bring in are the two reasons why we're making so many mistakes and losing games. This is the only reason. Midfield, I mean, I don't want to talk about the game. Bruno not picking up his runner. This ain't the first time. He did it against Smith Rowe against Fulham. What a shock. I mean, goalkeeper mistakes. Buying there, you know what? He's just making me look like a twat all of a sudden. Because I thought, you know what? He might be decent shot stopper, decent from the playing from the back, but I looked at that second goal and I thought to myself, you know what? I was more focused on Luke Shaw, but I was like, you know what? He didn't even come off his line quicker, and I'm like, I'm a fucking keeper. I didn't even clock. He came slower. I was more pissed about Luke Shaw, but look, I don't know where this team's gonna go. We don't have a midfielder. We should have had a midfielder instead of going for fucking Mbeumo at this point. Because what was the point of going for Mbeumo? if you had Bruno, if you had Ahmad, if you had Xerxes, if you had Mount, you had all these players. I mean, we're overloaded so many talents. It's like, okay, it's good to have squad depth, but when's Xerxes gonna play? You know, when's he gonna play? Because we're only playing one game a week. And if you're talking about FA Cup, that shit's in January. So I don't understand. Like, when's Xerxes gonna get his game time? When's Mount's gonna get his game time? You know, probably like, obviously he's injured now, but it's just stupid. You know, and you know what? I said I don't want Bruno gone. I wish we took that money and we could have got fucking Baleba or whoever else, because him playing that 8 is suicidal, like fucking Pogba doing defender duty. It's suicidal. You can't put someone who's a 10 and plays in the 8. You're playing someone out of position, basically. And it's like basically, let's just say, for example, Sesko plays centre half. Let's just say, because he's tall, he's strong, but we all know maybe he could do a job, but is he a centre half? No, he isn't. It's the same thing with Bruno. He's not a fucking 8. You need a specialist. I mean, people need to realise, I've said this, there's 2 types of midfielders that fit in the pivot too. It's box to box, and it's Zubimendi type of play. So deep line playmakers, you know, but they're good defensively. So, look, I mean, it's just, we don't have neither of these players. We got Ugarte, who has good energy, good off the ball, but on the ball is poor. You got Casemiro, who might as well retire. You got Bruno, who doesn't play, isn't mobile, isn't disciplined enough, doesn't understand the role. You know, he can't play there. And you got Mainu, who, like, I've always said Mainu is a more defensive type. But look, he's not playing, and maybe there might be times where Mainu gets caught off when he plays there. So, I mean, this is a problem. I mean, we got Ugarte, and look, I like Ugarte. And you know what, ironically, I'm going to get on my player ratings right now. The people that be hating on him, and I know we lost, but if you're saying if you're saying that we played bad, one of those players would be Ugarte. Ironically, he was man of the match for me. You know? So I'm glad he had that game where he could shut up people. I know it wasn't a win, but you understand what I'm trying to get through. You know, he was technically out man of the match, winning the ball. But even when we win the ball, I mean, honestly, I've said this so many times. When we win the fucking ball, we don't keep it well. We don't keep it well. What did Amorim say in his first press conference? Not first press conference. His first interview. And it was with Gary Neville. He said, we can't press for 90 minutes because it's impossible. So what do we need to do? We need to keep the ball well. Guess what? This team couldn't even handle a baby, so let alone fucking keep the ball. So I don't understand. I mean, look, Amorim said he wants his team to keep the ball well. This team can't. Why? Because they do fucking shit passing. In the final third, we're so wank. And it's like, you know, it's like we're not giving service once again. And you know what, honestly, talking about final third, I'm sorry. Look, Ahmad and Broma, I really like. The problem with them two as tens, they can't work. They can't work. I hope I don't see them against Chelsea, but for God's sake, they can't work. Because you got 2 players who want to play in the same position, and that's on the right. And it's like, you don't know when they should switch or not, because then Broma goes on the left sometimes, Ahmad goes on the left sometimes. That shit doesn't work. That's why I thought, you know what? He should have took off Mainu and took off either Dorgu or Shaw. But you know what? Might as well Shaw. Put Mainu in midfield, Ugarte, Bruno goes higher up, and you leave Ahmad out wing back. That would have been great. But no, you decide to keep fucking Luke Shaw, who later on, making after these subs, costed 2 goals. So, you know, I mean, these substitutions Amorim makes, it's fucking suicidal. It's suicidal. And I don't care people say, let's get 4-3-3. That shit never worked last time. Yes, I understand under Oli, we finished second, we finished third, we still fucked up. Ten Hag, we finished third trophy. We finished 8th trophy, but it never worked. It never worked. And even if we play in a 4-3-3, which most of these players are suited to, the only player who's technically out of position is Cunha. He's not really a left winger, is he? And you're leaving Euro on the bench. I think you're either leaving Euro because look, it normally be Martinez and De Ligt, but with Martinez out, that means Euro will play. But if Martinez is back, would Euro have to be on the bench? That is the question. Look, this is why playing a back three was great, because we got to see Euro more. You know, otherwise in Ten Hag, I mean, you know, if we were still playing a back four, we would still probably see only Martinez and De Ligt. So, you know, but anyway, I people can moan about saying, you know what? I just want to read this out. So I'm just trying to see. Yeah. So this came from Chris Wheeler. So United players are struggling to get a grip with Amorim's system almost 11 months after he took over. Even one of his Stounchestis allies, Bruno Fernandes, is believed to be unhappy operating a deep midfielder role. Well, thank the Lord, Bruno, you fucking talked for once. You know, because we were all thinking, why is Bruno telling Amorim, I don't want to play in that role? Fucking say it. I mean, you're gonna play anyway. It's not like Amorim's telling you you're only gonna play in the holding role. If not, you're gonna be on the bench. Bruno is gonna play either way. You know. Also, United are backing Ruben Amorim for now, but players are losing confidence in 3-4-2. I've seen this bullshit. They've lost confidence in Ten Hag playing 4-3-2-1, 4-2-3-1, Oli 4-3-3, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to hear that shit. We lost faith. I've seen that from fucking other managers. Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't know. Yeah. So this is Amorim said this in his press conference. I will not change my system, and is convinced that the mentality is the issue, not the system, or even most of the players. Look. One thing I like from Amorim is he's sticking to his system, because I've seen this with Ten Hag when he never played the Ajax man. I'm thinking to myself, why is he not sticking to what he's good at? And he never did that. You know, he bought Ajax players, but he never played the way Ajax played. And look, obviously you see what it is now. Obviously he did win us trophies, but he never played the way he wanted to play. Oli was counter-attack football. Mourinho, you could probably say it was sit deep and I don't know what you want to call it, part of the bus football, whatever. Van Gaal, you could probably say, was one of those managers where it was more stylish, you know, enjoyable football. And Moyes, I don't think I remember anything far from that. But what I'm trying to say is at least Amorim sticking to his principles. Because people say, why isn't Amorim playing 4-3-3? Has he ever played 4-3-3 in his life? No, he hasn't. And if you guys go back to when Amorim got, you know, what's his name? When Amorim signed, he played 3-4-2-1, right? But sometimes he changes it by making it 3-5-2, 5-2-3, or 3-4-3. You know? But it's still going to be about 3. So, if you're going to expect Amorim to make changes, it's still going to be a back 3. It's just going to be a few little tweaks. So, look, do I think Amorim's the right man? Look, I don't know. Maybe he might not be. Maybe he might not be the guy. But for God's sake, we should have got a midfielder. Because this is going to kill us till January, where we might actually get a midfielder. And it's like, you know what? You know, we could actually compete. Look, you can't compete with fucking Bruno in the midfield. So if I was fucking Amorim, you got 1 week left. You're playing a week. You're playing one game every week. Play Menu and Garte. You don't need to be worried about injuries because you're only playing one game a week. We're not in Europe. We got knocked out by Grimsby. An FA Cup is in January, so you don't need to worry about that. So I don't know. I really don't know. So but anyway, look, I mean player ratings. Forgot who fucking played. Where was that? So yeah, Bayern there. I'm gonna say a 4. But I know it's easy to say that he can see the. Oh, for fuck's sake! Are you serious? Oh wow! Once again, Man United have more possession than City. I mean, like I give a toss, but anyway. Yes, yeah, Bayern there 4. I mean, look, I thought I had faith in this guy, but you might as well call him the Turkish Onana. I mean, no, that's a bit of a fast stretch. Onana was still worse, but no, it's just fucking stupid. I mean, how many times are we gonna have a manager that a goalkeeper that isn't good enough? For me, goalkeeper is the most important position in football. I might be biased, don't care, but for me, it's goalkeeper and then striker. If you don't have a goalkeeper that you're not comfortable with in net, you already lost the game. Because when you look at Real Ferdinand, you look at Vidic. Who did they have behind them? Van der Sar. And they were fucking comfortable. And let alone Van der Sar, they were the best Premier League, best centre partnership in Premier League history. You got Yap Sam, you got Ronnie Onso. Who did they have behind them? Peter Schmeichel. They were still a great centre, but they had Peter Schmeichel to save them. You had Varane, you had Martinez. Or you can have Maguire, you can have Lindelof. You know? And who did I have behind them? They had De Gea. And at times when he was at his best, he'd save Man United on days. We don't have a goalkeeper that can't even save the fucking Titanic no more. You might as well just say that. So look, Bayern there 4. Look, I'm just. Look, I don't know if he'll play against Chelsea, but look, I'm intrigued to see what Lemens does. I actually am, because I can't wait. I just can't wait for Bayern there to play another game. There's just no point. You know, I thought Onana, you don't feel safe with him in net. It's probably the same with Bayern there. So, but anyway, for De Ligt, I'll probably say a 5.5 or 5. I'll probably say him, Euro 5. Shaw 3. Might as well retire. Look, people might say, apparently people are saying that's his worst game in United shirt. I don't know. Was there not worse? I mean, I can't think of my head. Look, probably 5-0 against Liverpool, probably 7-0, probably 6-1 against Tottenham. I don't really know. So yeah. Mazraoui, I'm going to say a 5. Look, no one's going to be average because we played shit. But it was great to see Mazraoui. People have been giving him low scores. Look, he did well. Apparently, Doku became Ronaldinho all of a sudden. But there were times, apparently, for those people that are saying that he can't attack to save his life, I mean, that's absolute bollocks. So, it's a lie. So, he can attack. So, yeah, but 5 for me. Dorgu, I'm going to say... you know what? I just give him Mazraoui a 5, but... You know what, I'll probably say 5. The only reason I wanted to give low was because of... Pep was smart not playing Foden, because Dorgu was expecting a winger against him. But Bernardo Silva, the way he keeps the ball well... And he was kind of, Dorgu was like a bit frustrated about not getting the ball, because Bernardo Silva is very good at protecting the ball. So, he's not easy man to tackle. So, yeah, 5. Bruno, 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. Look, if that fucking goal, if he tracked his man, if someone tracked Foden, that goal would never went in. But guess what? You got Bruno, and apparently knows how to play that role, but still fucks it up. It's not the first time. He did it against Fulham. It's not the first time. That he costed us a goal. So, yeah. Ugarte, I'm going to say 5.5 man of the match. Look, I know it isn't the game where you prove haters wrong. But he was man of the match. The amount of times he won the ball, off the ball, working hard, that's the Ugarte we know. The only reason he gets criticism is because of his decision making and his passing. Otherwise, I'm happy with Ugarte, you know, because of his intensity, he's relentless and everything. So, look, man of the match for me, but 5.5. Um, I'm going to say a 5. Um, I've said it once again. And Bromo and Ahmad should not play as two tens. They shouldn't. Because they're both players that like playing off the right. And they kept switching, and it's like, who's bloody left wing? So, the team felt disjointed when both of them at one point were playing on the right. So, but yeah, 5. And Brahma, I'll probably say 5.5. Look, I'm happy we got Mbromo because he's got that big spark about him. Obviously I know him and Cunha will be amazing for us, but we need more. I'm glad we don't have to rely on Bruno to make something happen because that's all we do. And when he has a rubbish performance, we're just basically bad. So yeah, 5.5. Sesko, you know what? I'll probably say a 5. I'll probably say a 5. Look, no service. Look, I'd probably say the positive thing is holding up the ball. But that's about it. Once again, we can't get. Look, what's the key term? Graveyard shift. I mean, it's just annoying. It's just absolutely annoying to have someone that, can't get the ball. I mean, how many times have we crossed the ball into City's box and not once did we win a header? I don't think we won a header. I mean, it's so frustrating. So, look, 5, but look, I hope Amrin gets the best out of this team because we need a midfielder and we need a goalkeeper. But let me tell you something. Sesko needs basically Cunha and Bromo, Ahmad, maybe not Ahmad, or Bruno to make chances for him. Possibly Dorgu when he crosses it in. But I never saw it with this team. I never saw it in this game. So, it's probably pointless. But yeah, Maguire, probably say a 5. Like, it's so stupid. I don't understand. Why did he take off Euro? Why you're talking as if, oh my god, we're in the Champions League. I need to rest Euro. Guess what? We're not in Europe. I don't understand why he subbed him off. And then you got Maguire, who's slow as fuck, playing up against Haaland. It doesn't make sense. And that's how the third goal came from. So yeah. Xerxes 5. Casemiro 5. Menu. I'll probably say 5.5. Probably say 5. Look, I want Menu and Ugarte to be our pivot too. I don't care what anyone says. They're still our best and balanced midfield too. So I couldn't give a toss. And Amorim, I probably say a fucking 2. Because I know people are gonna say, oh, we coached the loss. Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. 3-4-2-1 doesn't work. Get a new manager. Make 4-3-3 work. Why doesn't Amorim be pragmatic? I'm sick and tired of it. How many times are we gonna get a new manager, and it's like fucking deja vu again? I don't want to do it. It's just frustrating. But look, we got Chelsea. Now look, I know people might clip me up on this. I don't give a shit. We might somehow win that fucking game. Not because we're at Old Trafford. It's because it's fucking Chelsea. Because this isn't disrespect. I think probably Chelsea fans will agree with me. Chelsea are the type of team. Man United will lose they'll beat teams Man United will lose to, but as soon as they face Man United, they shit themselves. And that's why we always either draw or we either spank them 4-0. So, but look, that's a long way. So on Saturday, 5:30 shit. So I'll probably beg to leave work later. So earlier, sorry. So yeah. But look, 3-0. Look, what is it? I mean, we're 14th. We got 4 points. Drew to Fulham. Should have fucking won. Look, if someone told me in the first 4 games we lost to Arsenal and City, I'd take it. But it's the manner we lost to. We didn't fucking lose to any City team. We didn't lose to a City team that won the treble. We lost to a shit City team that won the game because of mistakes. Otherwise, we'll see them. We'll see this fucking City team against Arsenal. And let's see how they play. You know, but they only won because of mistakes. I'm standing by that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I don't know. You know what? I don't understand how people can overcome. I don't know how I overcome Man United games. I actually don't understand. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Take care. See you in the next one.